Great. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sharon Whiteman, and it's my great pleasure and privilege to be here each and every Saturday morning with you, each and every one of you. We appreciate you, and we acknowledge you for giving your time on a Saturday morning or whenever you happen to be listening to this to better your knowledge base on our great product, technology, and company. Today we have a privilege. Dr. Nugent is just he is our favorite speaker, and he works so hard on our behalf, and I'm very grateful that he says yes to fit Australasia into his very, very busy schedule as he's circling the globe. Now, Dr. Steve Nugent is Manitech's Global Wellness Director and Chairman of the Global Scientific Advisory Board. He has more than 40 years of experience in the area of integrative medicine. He has tested more than 6,000 dietary supplement products and formulated more than 100. He is internationally recognized as an expert in his field, and he's been teaching doctors for more than 30 years. He is Manitech's most requested speaker worldwide. He has earned multiple degrees, graduating with top honors at both the undergraduate and the graduate levels. His areas of study include integrative medicine, health and wellness psychology, leadership psychology, organizational psychology, neuropsychology, biological anthropology, nutrition science, business administration. Wow. I think we should vote Dr. Nugent for Prime Minister in Australia, the way they're going to attack on natural medicine here right now. Dr. Nugent has served as president of the International Association of Complementary Medicine, as president emeritus of the American Naturopathic Medical Association, and he is professional member of the American College of Nutrition. He was also awarded the Servant's Heart Award by Manitech Associates in 2007. So, Dr. Nugent, welcome to Australasia's weekly training call, and thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you, Sharon. It's always a great pleasure to be on the calls with you, and good morning to everyone in Australasia. It's early evening for me where I'm at, but that's the way it works around the world. So, go ahead, Sharon.
Well, I'm going to turn my camera off and mute, but I'll still be here, so just call on me if you need anything.
All right, will do. Well, my friends, we are going to give some brand new information for some of you, and for a small percentage of you, it will be a review. And just so that you know, learning psychologists have confirmed that almost no one ever gets all the information from the first presentation. And in fact, I've literally had doctors who've listened to my audios in excess of 15 times, getting information each time that they are certain that they didn't hear on the previous times that they listened. So that's the way human beings listen. So for those of you who've heard this presentation in Adelaide, well, it's good actually for you to hear it again. That's what learning psychologists have confirmed for us. And for the rest of you, this is pretty much brand new, and it's really cool. This is a product, and you heard Diane at the very beginning of the call, you heard her say that this is good for athletes, obviously, and I'll explain why, but it's really good for everyone in terms of their health. And for those of you who are business builders, this is what's frequently referred to as a door opener or a conversation starter, if you will, because that's the toughest thing to do when you're on the business side and you're building your business, is to sort of break the ice and get the conversation started and get the interest with people. Well, this product can do that almost like nothing we've ever had before, perhaps literally like nothing we've had before. Anyway, so let's get going then. This is important stuff, and we don't want to waste any time here. So I'm going to, as many of you know, I do my presentations based on questions that I get from the field. So marketing obviously puts together their ideas of how a presentation should go, but I like to listen to the field and see what you folks are thinking, what your concerns are, what your desires are, and then I change my presentations to meet that. Well, one of the questions that I got when we first launched this product in the United States was, why doesn't it taste like Empact, the original Empact product? Well, the simple short answer, and I'm not being sarcastic, it's a simple answer, It's not Empact. It's a new product, and it's Empact Plus. So that's why it doesn't taste like the original product. I think it's got a pretty good taste, though. Now, the taste is very intense. We'll talk more about that in a few moments on how you should mix it with water and so on. But the original Empact was designed as what's known as an intra-workout product. Intra-workout meaning the thing that an athlete would use during their workout or during their physical activity or their game or whatever it is they're doing. So that's called intra-workout. Well, that's what Empact was designed for. The original Empact also did give a little bit of energy start for pre-workout, but basically it was an intra-workout product. Well, if you talk to an athlete, and once again, I want to make this clear for everyone on the call. Diane said it, and I've said it, but I'm going to say it again. This is not just a product for athletes. As you listen, you are going to find out that virtually anyone can benefit from this product and will enjoy the feeling and the results of this product. So it's for everyone, okay? But my mission from the marketing department is to always discuss this as an athletic product first. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, if you talk to an athlete, you're going to find out that they buy products to prepare themselves for the workout, to get their energy level up and get them prepared to start that workout. So that's pre-workout. And then, of course, the intra-workout I just explained, that would be a product that gives you stamina, that can keep you going longer, that can increase your time to exhaustion, which is the scientifically correct way to say it. Increase your time to exhaustion, okay? And, of course, athletes will also buy a third category of products, which are called post-workout and recovery products. The idea with those products is to help your body's muscle tissue recover as quickly as possible with as little soreness as possible so that you feel good after the workout and the next day, and you can start doing it to yourself again the next day. That's the whole idea with athletes. So this is what the product does for athletes. It's all three of those things in one product. In fact, it's all three of those things in a single slim stick that's citrus flavored and easy to use and easy to sample and easy to get people started with when you're starting that first conversation. It's really quite cool. And of course, it does support an active lifestyle for those individuals who are not, quote, athletes, unquote, but are simply more physically active and they want more energy. It also, by the way, supports anyone who is not very physically active but is looking for more energy. And it also supports people who are on fat loss programs. And I'll get to that in a little bit. This is really a pretty exciting product. So I get asked by athletes almost precisely word for word the same questions every time this subject comes up. So I'm just going to address those. They always say to me, does the product have electrolytes in it? Of course, it has to, or it wouldn't be a sports product. And then they say, but are the electrolytes in the correct balance? Well, of course they are. We're pretty good scientists at Manitech. The data is well known on this sort of thing. So yes, of course, they're in the proper ratios. Then the athletes say to me, but does it have amino acids in it? Well, of course it does, or it wouldn't be a sports product. And then they say, but does it have the correct ratio of the amino acids? And does it contain the branched chain amino acids, they will ask. And of course, the answer once again is, of course. The science is well known, and we're pretty good scientists at Manitech, so we figured that one out. And yes, it's in the product in the proper ratios. Now understand, Empact Plus is a performance product. It is not a bodybuilding product. This is important because bodybuilders will buy amino acid products that are very, very high in what are called the branched chain amino acids because they want to bulk up their muscles as big as they can get them, okay? And that's a bodybuilding product. This is a performance product. It's not designed to build big muscles on you. It's designed to help you perform in your activity for a longer period of time and to recover from that more easily and more quickly. So the amount of branched chain amino acids in this are a level for repair of muscles post-workout, not for building big bulk muscles, okay? So you understand the difference in those two things. Now, excuse me, this contains a very, really innovative blend of plant-based ingredients that are completely safe, and I get asked that all the time. And I have to say, and some of you know me very well, you know, as the senior scientist at Manitech, I sometimes, my feelings get a little bit hurt when somebody says, is it safe? Why in the world would we make a product that wasn't safe? I mean, that's just such an illogical question, okay? So trust us, Manitech does a multi-layer safety program. If if we come out with a product, folks, it isn't just safe, it's super safe. So not to be worried about that. Does it contain glyconutrients? Well, absolutely. We're the glyconutrient company. And so you wouldn't expect to see any new product in our inventory. We have some older products from way back that don't have glycos in them, but all the new products have glyconutrients. So this is an all-in-one fitness product. So pre, intra, and post. That by itself makes it an enormous value for the athlete. And of course, this has been tested in scientific study. We know it works. And some of our top performance athletes who are Manitech associates have used this product. We asked them to start it before we had even created all this beautiful packaging. We asked them to start on the product and then tell us, well, just give us a report. Tell us if, because we didn't want to sort of influence them at a time. We just want to know what you experience. We just want to hear what you think about the product. So we gave them the product at no charge. We let them do their thing. And 100% of them reported that their workouts, and especially their time to exhaustion, I'll explain that in more detail in a moment, was improved with this product. And they all wanted more. So that says a lot. That really does say a lot. All right, let me talk to you a little bit about the flavor here. This is important. In different countries, there are different statements on the box. And because we are an international corporation, and because sometimes associates in Australasia will obtain product from the US or from other countries, the instructions may be different, okay? So please mix this product in 300 mLs of water, please. I know the slide that you're looking at right now is actually a US slide. It says 8 ounces of water. Well, 8 ounces is only 250 ml. And I've been even telling Americans that they need to do this in 10 or 12 ounces, but do it in at least 300 ml of water. The reason for this is the taste is very intense. And if you don't mix it with enough water, you may not be happy with the taste. It may just be, the citrus may just be a little bit too intense for you. Okay, so with that in mind, make sure that you mix it in at least 300 ml of water, and you can certainly mix it in more. Let's talk a little bit about the science and how this is so unique. This product is so different. Now, a lot of people, when they say energy products, and energy products are a huge category of nutrition right now across the globe, and especially in countries that are, quote, Western cultures, unquote, energy products are selling like hotcakes, but they're really selling all over the world very, very well. I see in East Asia that energy products sell very well as well. But you're finding more people in so-called Western culture that are having more issues with fatigue and stress and so on. And it's unfortunate, but many people in Western culture are simply not physically fit. They're out of shape, they're overweight, etc. Okay, and I'm going to talk more about weight in just a few minutes. But right now, let's talk about the blend itself. There are actually several components to this product, but the most exciting component of the product is our organic certified combination of 6 different Ayurvedic mushroom strains, which are grown, by the way, in the U.S. and harvested in the U.S. And this is done to make sure that we've got all the proper growing conditions with least exposure to pollution, all that stuff, quality control, all that. So, but these are various sort of ancient strains of mushroom. Now, it's very interesting when you look into Ayurvedic medicine, which is the medicine practiced by doctors in ancient India and is still being practiced today, by the way, by practitioners there today. There are even medical practitioners in India and in the Indian subcontinent, so that includes obviously other countries outside of India, who still use Ayurvedic medicine, even though they are medical doctors, and they combine the two. And it's really quite interesting because they have that much faith in them. Well, the ancient practitioners, of course, didn't know much about science. Science hadn't really been invented yet. It hadn't really been thought out yet. So those practitioners did things through experimentation and observation. And what they observed was that there were various mushrooms that seemed to give people more energy and more stamina and just generally made people feel better. We looked at this in the ancient literature because we have a lot of respect for the ancient practitioners and all of the great work that they did. And we decided to test this scientifically and see if there was a confirmable scientific basis in their observations, and it turns out there is. So we have this special blend of 6 different strains of mushrooms, and no, I'm not going to tell you what's in the blend. This is proprietary. Proprietary means it's ours. We're not giving it to anyone else, so obviously we're not going to detail the blend, okay? So don't even ask me. That's not happening. So what you have here is a group of mushrooms that were tested in athletes. And the scientific test, which has been completed but is not yet published, so I cannot give you full details. That's a rule in scientific publishing that if you find it frustrating, trust me, I find it frustrating for sure. When you write a scientific paper and it gets approved for publication, the journals will publish the paper when they decide to publish the paper. And it could be a few months, it could be a year. We have no control over that. That's up to the journal. But a rule in scientific publishing says that if you discuss details of a paper before it's published, you negate your right to publish. So I'm not going to give you details. But, you know, very often details are difficult to remember. They often get misinterpreted or misremembered, and sometimes are too difficult to understand anyway. When the study is published in the journal for which it was approved, we will let all of the associates globally know it right away, okay? So please don't email me and say when. I don't know when. And we will tell you as soon as it's published, okay? So in this study, we saw some pretty exciting things. We know that these mushrooms are adaptogens. Adaptogens help your body to adapt to stress. Adaptogens also help your body to adapt to cortisol release. Now that goes under the heading of fat loss, and some people will say, incorrectly will say weight loss, but that goes under the heading of fat loss as well. Cortisol problems can affect your sleep and stress and just all kinds of things, your metabolism. So adaptogens are very, very important in that area. We've added some other glyconutrients, which are called beta-glucans, to the mix. And we've added something called L-ergothioneine. Ergothioneine is an amino acid which is a cytoprotectant. What does that mean? Well, Basically, it means it can protect your cell from damage. In fact, it's such a good cytoprotectant that it can actually penetrate into your DNA to give you protection all the way in that far into your cells. Quite amazing. So this helps with oxidative stress. It helps to protect the lenses of your eyes, your liver, bone marrow. I mean, it's so important in so many areas. You do not see L-ergothioneine separately listed on the label because it's part of our secret sauce, if you will, our proprietary blend. We are not going to disclose to anybody how many milligrams of any of these various ingredients we have added because it's proprietary. If you're a business builder, you don't want to sell a product that everyone else can sell. You only want to sell a product that is exclusive to you. So that's why we do proprietary blend. But what do we know from the scientific study? Again, I'm going to have to give you broad general information. I cannot give you specific details or we will negate our right to publish. Okay? So we do have published on manitechscience.org the results of the original Empact product. I can tell you that the results of this product are better. Okay? But I'm not going to give you any numbers. And I know some of you want the numbers, but you're just going to have to be patient and wait. So what we tested with the blend is to find out primarily if the blend could affect something called VO2 max. Basically what that means is, in plain language, it simply means the maximum utilization of oxygen in your muscles. Now, why is that important, you might ask? Your muscles require oxygen to function. They also require sugar to function. Otherwise, they can't do the actions to make you move or run or do whatever your activities are. So what we want to do is to be able to utilize oxygen in the muscle as efficiently as possible, because the more efficiently your muscles utilize oxygen, including your heart muscle, the longer time you will have to work out. So the longer your duration of workout, or a correct way to say it would be a longer time to exhaustion. Now, most people will incorrectly use the word energy, and I'll explain the differences in a moment. So just remember, and you're seeing it on the screen right now, just remember time to exhaustion. And that should make sense to everybody. You want to have a much longer time from the time you start your physical activity until the moment when you're so exhausted you can't do any more. Okay? Now, most people will say, oh, I've run out of energy. Well, actually, you haven't. But that's when you've hit your point of exhaustion. So we know from the study, and again, this is a human study that we did, and we know from the study that oxygen utilization during exercise is improved. That's huge. We know that the individual's ability to uptake oxygen was improved. That's huge. And we know that their total exercise capacity was improved. And we've seen this also from our associates, our performance athletes that I mentioned before, who are associates. And we're talking some serious performance athletes here. One of these athletes who's up in Canada, his name is Ryan. This guy is just amazing. I mean, a warm-up for him is a 10-mile run. I'm talking 10 miles uphill, okay? The guy is astounding, totally astounding. And he loves this product. So that should tell you something right there. In fact, I think that the number of our associates who are true endurance and performance athletes who have given us tremendous endorsements on this product already, it clearly says that for an athlete, this is an astounding product. So if you know an athlete and you want to introduce them to Manitech, this positively is the right product for them. But it's a lot more than that, because as we look at time to exhaustion, well, you'll be looking at what the average person calls energy. We'll get to that in a moment. I just want to emphasize fairly quickly again the branch chain amino acids, or BCAAs. All right, that's what the athletes are always looking for. If they are bodybuilders, they want to bulk this stuff up. But we've added enough branched chain amino acid to help repair muscle after the workout, because when you work out, whatever your workout is, it can be running or cycling or swimming or climbing or weightlifting, it doesn't matter. Whatever your workout is, you damage muscle tissue during the process. So part of your recovery process, of course, is to feed the body the branched chain amino acids, so isoleucine, leucine, and valine, to feed them those so that their muscles can repair more quickly and reduce soreness after exercise, or something which athletes call and scientists call DOMS. So that's DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, which, depending on the person, may be really bad the day after exercise. For some people, it's 2 days after exercise where it's really bad, and a few, it's even 3 days after exercise. So this product, because of the branched chain amino acids, reduces recovery time following your intense physical activity. Doesn't necessarily have to be an athletic event, okay? It stimulates protein synthesis to enhance muscle growth, but that is primarily for repair, not primarily for building huge muscles. This, again, is not a bodybuilder product. It's a sports performance product. Now, will bodybuilders benefit from this product? Yes, because of what I talked about previously, where I said your duration of the workout is longer, your exercise capacity is longer, your time to exhaustion is longer. What does a bodybuilder want to do? If you know any bodybuilders, they're always looking to do what they say is to get more reps or more repetitions, more lifts, more curls. They want to do it more times. Well, today I did it 25. Tomorrow I want to go for 30. Okay, so and of course, this product will help them. So this will help bodybuilders, obviously, because it's a performance and stamina product and recovery product. But it's not a bulking product, just so you have that clear in your mind. Now, one of the things that we wanted to add is called betaine. In Australia, it's called betaine. In science, it's called trimethylglycine. Well, probably, and I'm not sure, I don't have an Australian label in front of me, but probably your label says betaine. Doesn't matter, it's the same thing. So betaine comes from beetroots. It's one of my favorite natural ingredients in the entire natural world. Betaine does so many things. In fact, it's the most important ingredient in cardio balance. Many Australians, New Zealanders, and people in Singapore as well buy cardio balance from other markets because it's not in the Australian market. However, I would want to point out, and I had some criticism from my presentation in Adelaide that, oh, you talked about products we don't have. Yeah, well, first of all, it was approved, but secondly, there was psychology behind it. Many Australians already buy those products, number one. Number two, if enough of them are buying them from the US, it will show that there's a demand for them in Australia, and maybe we can get them in Australia. What a concept, okay? So understand that there's a method before you criticize me for these things. All right, so back to this. What does this do? This very safe natural ingredient, which is the most important ingredient, by the way, in cardio balance, is also one of the most important ingredients in this product. It is a vasodilator. Now that means it sort of gently and safely opens up your veins and your arteries so that blood flows easier. Well, the easier that fluid flows through a pipe, the lower the pressure is in the pipe. Does that make sense to everybody, I hope? And it increases the production of something called nitric oxide, not to be confused with the gas that your dentist gives you, which is called nitrous oxide. So this is nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is extremely important to help regulate cellular fluid volume. And because it improves your circulation, your blood flow, this is beneficial for so many aspects of your health. I mean, really huge for a lot of aspects of your health, not just endurance and stamina, but obviously this is potentially good for reducing some stress on the heart muscle as well, and other things. Well, of course, the electrolytes in the product are there, as I mentioned, is calcium, sodium, it's from sea salt, potassium, magnesium. These are all electrolytes that are in there. And I've had a few people right away that instead of thinking, and some people, you know, people like this, and I'm saying this for those of you who are not those people, but you know the type of person who jumps to conclusions and finishes your sentence before you're even done with your sentence, okay? Instead of listening to hear what you have to say. Those people are very frustrating to me. I love them still, but they're frustrating. So then we had some people who said to me, oh my God, it's got sodium in it, that's bad for you. Listen, if you do physical activity, you perspire. If you perspire, you lose sodium. If your sodium goes too low, your heart stops, okay? This is why electrolytes always include sodium. Your body requires at least 2,400 milligrams of sodium a day to keep everything regulated correctly in terms of muscle activity and electrical activity. It is, for most people, they're taking in more than that a day, and that's the problem. So it's not that sodium is a problem, it's too much sodium is a problem. If you're going to be physically active, you have to have sodium, okay? You have to do it. So there you are. And you will also notice that we're using gluconates. The reason that we're using gluconates is twofold. Number one, we have tried unsuccessfully since 2007 to convince governments around the world to accept the use of plant-based minerals, and we've finally just given up. We have spent tens of thousands of dollars. We've spent years of trying to appeal to various governments, and we just can't get them with the program. And so what we're doing is we are using the most scientifically validated natural minerals. And folks, there's no such thing as a synthetic mineral. I keep hearing that. It makes me crazy. And I want you to think for a moment. Just think, okay? You have plant-based minerals, which are both natural and organic. You have other minerals which are natural but not organic. Organic means from living matter, from carbon molecules, or containing carbon molecules. And folks, we cannot convince almost any government to go along with that, including, by the way, the governments of Australia and New Zealand, which is why you had no calcium in your Phytomatrix product, because we couldn't convince them. They only wanted the calciums that they knew about and so on. So we've looked at the studies at the natural mineral forms that are best absorbed, most bioavailable, and most effective in human beings, and yes, safe. We don't do things that aren't safe. And those are gluconates and glycinates, okay? So we've used gluconates. And in fact, the gluconates tend to be, and that means that we've used a glyconutrient to chelate it, all right? And these are much more effective than almost every other type of mineral out there in terms of being absorbed by the human body and utilized by the human body, okay? So if you're still stuck on the words real food technology, then get a grip and get over it, because it's not happening, okay? It's not that we don't want it to happen, it's that governments don't want it to happen, and we can't fight governments, okay? We do our best, but there's only so much you can do. All right, so I mentioned that magnesium in there. We also added two other minerals, which are not electrolytes. We added these on purpose. Number one is iron. Why did we add iron? Because iron carries oxygen. That's its purpose in your blood, to create hemoglobin, and the hemoglobin then carries your oxygen to your blood cells. Also, knowing that if you're physically active, you're putting stress on your bones. And if you want to have healthy bones, you don't just need calcium and magnesium. You also need manganese. Manganese helps to hold calcium in your bone once it gets there. Manganese is also absolutely crucial to proper enzyme function in the human body. It is also crucial to nutrient absorption and wound healing. So manganese is in there as a benefit, which you may or may not see in another sports product, but you are not going to see another sports product like this one. That's for sure, with our own special blend. Now, so we spent about half our time talking about the sports side of this. Let's talk a little bit about the energy side of this. I know you think I've been doing that, but I want to explain energy to you. Almost everyone on the planet has a misconception of what it means. Now, because almost everybody is using the word incorrectly, then you are certainly not going to change people from doing that. And I don't want you to try. I don't want you to have any more trouble in your life than you need to have. So if people want to incorrectly use the word energy, oh, heck, just go along with it and just help them out, make everybody happy. But I do want you to understand the actual science behind it. Fat cells have one purpose. That is to store energy. That's it. In ancient times, our ancient ancestors who were hunter-gatherers, and that was the majority of the time that human beings have existed on planet Earth, the hunter-gatherers, if you study them today, and I studied them in one of my postgraduate programs in biological anthropology, what you find with hunter-gatherers today, true hunter-gatherers, I don't mean the ones who are living on some sort of government reservation with government assistance. I'm talking about real, honest-to-goodness hunter-gatherers who still get all of what they need by hunting and or gathering, and they're not involved with so-called modern civilization at all. If you study these people, what you'll find is that sometimes they will go a day or 2 or 3 without getting any food or without getting sufficient food. Now, gathering is kind of sparse sometimes. This is why hunter-gatherers, when they come across let's say a bush of berries of some type, they will never strip the bush. They take only enough of the berries that they can hold in one hand because they're trying to be good to the environment, and they want to make sure that, because that's where they live, okay? And they want to make sure that if another band of hunter-gatherers, or even they happen to come back from the same direction as they're following the herds, that there will be berries for them later, okay? So, fat cells are there to store energy in case you can't get food. Now, I know today that's kind of pointless because food's way too easy to get today. Our hunting and gathering is, well, let me see, walking to the refrigerator from your couch, or driving to a drive-up window, or driving to the grocery store. That doesn't take a whole lot of physical activity. Hunter-gatherers burn tremendous amount of energies just trying to find food, let alone gathering it and so on. So that's why fat cells exist. And you'll find that the genetic types that are the oldest genetic types, because there are various genetic groups throughout the history of the human race that have been changing and adapting over time, so that we are not all genetically the same, obviously. And the older genetic types tend to store body fat very efficiently, and the newer genetic types tend to store body fat less efficiently. Now, in the modern world, of course, this means that if you carry the genes of one of the older genetic types, which are predominant in you, that means you're going to hold body fat more than the average person, and you're going to have more difficulty losing weight, and you get fatter faster eating the same amount of food than somebody who is a newer genetic type, okay? Now, that's a big conversation. It's too big of a conversation for this call. But the point here is the people who have the most stored energy are typically the people who say they are the most tired and have no energy. Now, you look at people who are grossly overweight, and the more overweight they are, the more body fat they're carrying, the more they're going to say to you, oh, I'm just tired all the time. I don't have the energy to exercise. Well, they do in fact have the energy to exercise. It's stored all over their body. They don't have the mechanism which has helped them convert that stored body fat into energy. And because they feel so tired, they don't have the motivation to start getting physical. Well, here's where Empact Plus really comes in. This product is pretty astounding. When we sat down, I say we, the team, the product team, and of course everybody gives their ideas, and we've got a really good team. And of course the ideas came up with along the Red Bull kind of idea, right? The caffeine, because virtually all of our competing products have stimulants in them, because what they want is the athlete to feel quick stimulation so that they'll go, wow, this product works, I feel stimulated. Quick stimulation backfires on you because it stresses your adrenal glands. By the way, cortisol is made in your adrenal glands. It's a big mistake to stimulate yourself using something like caffeine or guarana. Big mistake. And that's what all of the competing products do. So, of course, our marketing team said, let's do a lot of caffeine in this to get people started so they feel that jolt. My comeback was what you're seeing on the screen. No, let's do this safely, gently, and as naturally as possible without stressing the adrenal glands, because you don't want to stress those adrenal glands. It's a big mistake. So then, we have 500% of the daily value of vitamin B12. B12 is an energy vitamin. Now, it's important for a lot of things, as you see on the screen. It isn't just an energy vitamin. But I'll tell you what, when people are really fatigued, and I saw this when I was in practice years ago, I'd give somebody an injection of B12, and in 5 minutes, they felt like $1 million. So I don't know if you use that expression, $1 million in Australia. Sorry for the Americanism there. But the point here is B12 picks up your energy safely and naturally. So no stimulus, and it doesn't overstimulate the adrenal glands. Now, B6 is in here because when your body is under extreme physical activity, your immune system becomes stressed, and B6 is important for making antibodies. B6 is also crucial for normal, healthy nerve function, and it's very, very important for your hemoglobin levels, and it's very important for blood sugar levels. You have to keep your blood sugar at normal levels. Here's what happens if you stress your body too much. And this is what people do all the time. Your cardiovascular fitness, your level of personal cardiovascular fitness is the wall. And you've heard athletes say things like, well, I ran as hard as I could for as long as I could, and then I hit a wall. All right, the wall is your level of cardiovascular fitness. Your body is going to try to use oxygen up to the point of your wall, up to the point of your level of cardiovascular fitness. At the point where it can no longer utilize oxygen to convert stored body fat into energy, it now begins something called glycolysis. And as the name implies, this means it's using sugar. It's using blood sugar to try and give you energy. Now, your muscles store blood sugar, and you have blood sugar in your blood. You have some blood sugar that gets stored in your liver as well. So when you start to use glycolysis for energy, you've now hit emergency mode. So you're just pushing yourself as hard as you can in emergency mode. This is very bad for your health. And by doing this with your blood sugar, this leads to lactic acid buildup in your muscles, which causes pain. And that's when you say, my muscles hurt too bad. I can't run another step. I can't cycle another rotation. I can't lift the weights one more time. My muscles hurt too bad. That's lactic acid. And the lactic acid buildup comes from being in glycolysis too long or being in emergency mode too long. So something else that we've done in this product is to try and ensure not only that you're using oxygen as long as possible, and we've proven in this study that this does that, so that delays that glycolysis as long as possible, that delays the muscle soreness and pain from lactic acid buildup as long as possible. But it also tends to keep your blood sugar in a more normal range for a longer period of time. Also, in terms of conversion of fats, you need to use vitamin B3. So we've added some B3 in there because our goal is to use oxygen to convert your stored body fat into energy. That's the idea. B1 is my favorite vitamin in the whole universe. I love B1 more than any vitamin. It's also called thiamine. Well, B1 is the very first vitamin ever discovered, by the way, discovered back in 1912. Wow. Anyway, B1 is an energy vitamin. Without question, it raises your energy, but it's the happiness vitamin too. It just makes you happy. If we had time, I could do a whole hour on how B1 affects your psychology, how it affects your mood, how it actually tends to make you happy when you're feeling down. It truly is the happiness vitamin. If you've got enough of it, it's pretty hard not to be happy, even if you don't want to be happy. That's pretty cool. I love that. Very safe. 250% of the daily value of B1. So it's raising your energy. It's helping you to properly utilize carbohydrates in your system. And of course, it's a happiness vitamin. So it's not a bad idea to feel happy all the time. It's a good thing for your health. We've added vitamin D2, and that is the plant form of vitamin D, and it is taken from plants. And we've done that for, of course, bone density and other factors, as well as your calcium utilization. Now, I made this slide so that people could, at a glance, see the rationale and the utilization for each of these nutrients at particular phases: pre-workout, performance or intra-workout, the stamina part, and of course, post-workout and recovery. So repair of the muscles, muscle soreness, and so on. But keep in mind that the longer you delay your body going into emergency mode using glycolysis, using blood sugar, the longer you stay on oxygen to convert stored body fat into energy, the longer it's going to take to produce lactic acid, which causes pain in the muscles. So there are so many advantages with this product. I mean, just huge advantages. Now think about this for a minute. This comes in a flavored slim stick. Again, please use at least 300 ml of water. I hope your container in Australasia says that. It should. I hope it does. So with this in mind, you're going to get a pretty pleasant citrus flavor. Now, personally, I like to mix the product with the flavored Ambertos Life. When I mix the two of them together in 300 mLs of water, I love the taste. It's a delicious and refreshing citrus, natural citrus flavored, and then, of course, the citrus all natural, the color's natural, the flavors, all that's natural, okay? So you will find that this tastes pretty darn good if you mix the two together, and that way you've got your Ambertos Life and all of its benefits as well. But this is a product that it will take, depends on the individual, of course, but maybe 20 minutes for the B vitamins to start making you feel good. Now, of course, if you're super fatigued, It may take a little bit longer before you'll say, I don't know why, but I think I feel better. I just feel a little bit better. In fact, you will hear a comment like that with people, because I've heard that since we launched the product initially, where people will say, I can't actually put my finger on it. I just feel better when I use Empact Plus. Well, of course you do. If you're utilizing oxygen to convert stored body fat into energy rather than going into emergency mode, you're going to feel better. This has the potential. I mean, think about this. If you improve your physical activity, if you become more physically active, and you have the energy and you feel good psychologically about it, and you're recovering easier without as much soreness afterwards, you're going to start sleeping better too. I mean, there's so many benefits of this product. And then, of course, we have what I call the no list. So all the things that are not in the product. I love these little icons. I think they're so cool. Okay. So it's vegan and vegetarian friendly, non-GMO, gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free. Let me make a quick comment on soy-free and dairy-free, because every time I do, I get emails. All right. So folks, I get hundreds of emails a day. I can't answer them all. And now I have people who send me messages on Facebook, on my 2 Facebook pages, and they do instant messaging and they do text. You know, folks, I can't answer all these things. I mean, I answer this stuff hours, 7 days a week, every single day, and I can't possibly get to all of them. I just can't. So I say certain things in the presentations to try and avoid the emails that don't need to be sent. You know, I want to deal with the emails that actually need to be sent. Okay. So I'm not anti-soy and I'm not anti-dairy. Okay, so for the pro-dairy people and the pro-soy people who get upset when they say this, they see this and they say, why'd you do that? All right, listen carefully, please. Now, I know the anti-soy people and I know the anti-dairy people are passionate that they believe that dairy will kill you or soy will kill you, okay? Neither will kill you, and what they quote, what they believe to be science, is not objective science. Neither are dangerous. However, in order to reduce your stress in life, introducing this to other people, you don't know if the person you're introducing the product is anti-soy or anti-dairy. So you just avoid that objection, because we've avoided using those materials. I'm not opposed to them. We just want to make your life easier in building your business. That's all. Just that simple. Please no emails on that. Okay. So there's no MSG. It is low glycemic. That means it does not raise your blood sugar. It's so cool. And it actually helps you convert stored body fat into energy without stressing your blood sugar levels. That's cool. It's also kosher. That's a higher level of safety certification, if you will. And of course, there's no artificial colors, no artificial flavors. And as you use this product, it helps to feed children in our M5M program. That's pretty darn cool as well. So you've got all of these benefits with Empact Plus. Folks, it's easy to sample. It's convenient. If you mix it in the right amount of water, it tastes pretty darn good. You're going to feel better. You can start to feel results in 20 to 30 minutes with this. Think about this. If you're a business builder, and I understand not all of you are, okay? And I'm not saying everybody needs to be, so please don't email me on that. But those of you who are business builders, I want you to think about this. You sit down with a friend. You make sure that you each have a bottle of water that's at least 300 mLs. Just take the stick, open it up, pour it directly into the bottle, put the cap back on the bottle, give it a good thorough shake, and drink away. Now, as you talk to each other over the next 10, 15, 20, for some people maybe 30 minutes, they're going to start to feel better. Some of them, depending on their physical condition, are going to start to feel more energetic, where they can visibly know they feel more energetic. Many of them, depending on their general health, are going to start feeling happier, which of course makes it easier for you to talk with them. Okay? This is a door opener product. So for those of you who are building a business, this is a fabulous product to get started with. It's good for young people. It's good for middle-aged people. It's good for older people. There's so many benefits for this. It's great across the board, not just for athletes, but for everybody. And if you're on a weight loss, or more correctly, a fat loss program, the biggest complaints we get is people say, I don't have enough energy to increase my physical activity. I take the product, maybe I modify my diet, maybe I don't, but I don't have enough energy to exercise or do physical activity. Well, folks, add Empact Plus. You might start to see a new level of success with people on our True Plenish system as well. Pretty darn cool. Well, having said all that, we've finished that presentation. I hope I did that right. Are we seeing each other now, Sharon?
We are.
Okay.
Fabulous.
So
you can
back
see
to
all
you.
all the comments and questions. There's so much gratitude. Everybody wants the B1 presentation when we can fit it in. And while we've been on this call, Terry Bayless has got back to me with a date. So your next call with us is at the end of April. And on that one, everyone will be focusing on why supplement and why Manatech should be the choice. So that will be perfect for your guests. We should see 100 people on this call for that one. Dr. Nugent, God bless you. Thank you so very much. Remembering next week we have our wonderful Naomi. We'll be celebrating her current achievement of being Associate of the Year for Australasia. Well done, Naomi. And we'll look forward to celebrating that with you next week. Dr. Steve, thank you so much.
My pleasure. I hope this was helpful to everyone.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. So everybody remember, logistically, if you want to, the links for the archive is in my email every week. I put the link to get on that email list in the comments. Otherwise, contact me on Facebook, Australasian Connect, and I can help you there. So thanks, everyone. Thanks, Gary and Diana. Have a great weekend. See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.